All
My
right.
apologies.
So start speaking on your topic, please.
Okay, work from home is a kind of new experience for all of the employees because it's something new comes up when the pandemic starts. And after a few times when we are working from home, our senior management decided that you guys, from now on, you have to work from home. But when we started work from home, there is some good thing and there is some bad thing as well, including in that. So starting with the good ones, that we don't have to travel and go to the company directly, but the bad things are that there is a communication gap between you and senior management, also the employees working under you guys. So recently I had an issue that I assigned a task to one of my junior, and he was working on that, and he took 3 days to complete that task. And then when he sent it back to me, it was my mistake that I didn't verify the sheet. So I just sent the sheet to my senior management, and after 2 days, they just called me and said there are a few mistakes in that. So after that, when I verified that, so I talked with the other person who worked on that sheet. So he told me that I know this. This is how it have to be done. So I told him that this is not the way you have to use these techniques. These formulas must be included in that sheet. So he said okay, but that's only because we are not sitting on the same side. We are not we are just communicating over the phone. It's difficult to tell other people when we are communicating over the phone. So I think that's a kind of flaw in that thing. But nowadays, when again a pandemic starts, so they are thinking about that we have to start working from home again.
All right. Few mistakes. Number one, just as Aruj made the same mistake, you said there is some good things, there is some bad things. What is the mistake here? What do you think?
Or the things
I mean, you said it. There is few good things. There
there
is
are.
few bad.
Yes,
Yeah,
there
it
are.
should be
There
are. It
are.
can't be in.
Yeah.
Is. I mean, we have to be very much conscious of what exactly we're going to say later on. And you said it twice.
Yeah.
There
Okay.
is some good things. There is some bad things. Number one. Number two. If you remember, Hamza, I suggested you the word is not but that.
But
The word is not that. The word is but.
yeah.
And the word is
But
that. One thing that I would suggest you, but we decided not to do this. So it means stand on your words, deliver it completely. You don't need to, I mean, it's not like joint English writing that we are joining it to the next sentence. It's not the joining thing. What we have to do over here, say one word, stand on it, and then move to the next word. Next, moving on. It was again a combination of present and past. When you were sharing a past story, everything should be related to past only. You cannot make a combination. Just as you
okay.
started sharing a story about past, now everything should be with the past tenses only. You're not allowed to use a combination of present and past. You can't do that.
Okay.
For instance, you said, I just sent the file while you were talking about past. I sent the file, or I had sent the file. Must be included in the sheet. It should be must be included in the sheet, or must had included in the sheet. Do concern about the tenses that we are talking about. If you're talking something, if you're sharing a story that is related to present, we'll take it this way. That everything that we are going to say would be in the present. If you're taking a story in the past, everything would be related to the past, and you only are allowed to use the past tenses, which mean past indefinite, continuous, perfect, or might be perfect continuous. So depend on that. Moving on. It was a good speech from all of you. Thank you so very much for delivering that. Let's move on to the conversation part. Now, we are going to play a game, and this is called presidential game. Minahil, Minahil, are you there?
Yes.
All right. Minahil, now you are the prime minister. Let's consider that you are Imran Khan, and Hamza and Aruj are the reporters. Hamza, just consider Minahil as the prime minister, so you have to ask her three questions related about her plans, with the things she's planning, the things she's doing, the way it's going on. Same as for you, Aruj, you have to ask her three questions. After that, the table will turn to Hamza. Hamza will become the prime minister, and Aruj and Minahil will ask him the question. And then we'll turn the table to Aruj, and Hamza and Minahil will be considering Aruj as the prime minister and will be asking the question. So it's going to be like that. To begin with, Minahil is the prime minister. And let's start with you, Aruj. Ask your first, you have to ask three questions. Start with the first question to the Mr. Prime Minister. And you should also be very much aware that when we are talking to the prime minister, there is some respect that we have to give to the prime minister. You know it already, and there should be some adjectives included into that to explain his quality, his to appreciate him about his work. So it should go exactly like that. Follow the pattern. Mhm.
Sir, as I know that you're working a lot for the poor people and for the and in like working on making a lot of opportunities for the young generation, but still I really wanted to know that how you will make more opportunities for the poor people.
Hmm.
This is the
Okay, I will make hospitals that will work for the poor people. They will give free medicines to them, and they will and I will open an institute which will give poor people some money when they need
so
it,
what do you
and
think, sir?
they will.
So do you really think, sir, that if we'll make an institution and a hospital, that will really help to cope up with the problems which poor are facing these days, as they're according to the population census we have recently, we can see that it is growing very fastly. So can't we start any program which covers the poor more?
Yes, we can start a program.
And
So
what
what
is
do you
that?
think? What strategies should we follow to start that?
We will give jobs to them.
Sorry to
Give
interrupt.
schools.
Sorry to interrupt, Miss Prime Minister. Let me tell you. In the speaking classes, there are some specific rules. Hamza is very well aware of that. I mean, once when Hamza started his speaking classes with me, I was asking him the question, and he was giving me one word answer. Do you remember that, Hamza?
Yes, I remember.
We two were discussing that whenever in the speaking class, what is the purpose of taking a speaking class? And we have to speak more. We have to speak more. That is the purpose of taking a speaking class. You have to make more mistakes, might be. You have to practice your English more. That is the purpose of taking a speaking class. So if I ask you a very simple question, just as I gave Hamza an example, that if I ask Hamza, Hamza, what did you eat last night? How would you answer that?
Well, I was just waiting to eat something, then but I couldn't figure out. I called my friends and I asked them what's the plan for today, and they told me that we are about to go to the McDonald's, and then we planned out to go there. And many of my friends came down there, so we just ordered burger, fries, and a lot of things. Then we eat that there.
That's great. So, Minahil, you got it. If I ask you, what did you eat last night? The answer cannot be burger and fries. That's not an answer because it's a speaking class. You have to come up with a story. Every simple thing that I ask you, you have to give me a complete story. Consider you are the producer, director, story writer of a movie. Create a story, create a movie, and explain me each and every scene of that. What happened in the beginning, what happened after that. For instance, I gave Hamza an example. If I ask Hamza that what is your favorite color, so Hamza cannot say my favorite color is blue. Hamza cannot say that in one sentence because he's requested to give me a complete explanation of something. For instance, it would be, what is your favorite color? Your answer would be, Hamza.
Well, I like a lot of colors, and sometimes I wear blue, and most of the time I like to wear black color because it looks attractive, and many of the people like that color. So I also like that color when I wear that. So most of the time I wear black.
Yeah, or it could be that also depend what product exactly I'm gonna buy. For
Yeah,
example, whenever I go and I go to the market to buy a toothpaste, I would never buy a toothpaste that will make my teeth black or
yeah.
blue. Okay, so when it comes to buying a car, I would never prefer to buy a blue car. I would prefer to buy a white car. But when it comes to buy a jeans or a t-shirt, I usually prefer to go for a blue color. So Minal, the purpose is always create a story and speak more. That is the purpose of speaking class. Is it clear? That's great, wonderful. Aruj, over to you. Your next question, please.
Okay, sir, my next question is that keeping this pandemic in mind, how what do you think that how should we introduce the Ramzan packages that help the poor people to cope up with it?
A wonderful question. Yes.
Okay, we will start with giving some sanitizers and wear a mask. All should wear a mask. We will follow the SOPs, and we
Mm-hmm.
will follow the SOPs. So we can we
Mm-hmm.
so we can give them food.
Great.
So pardon me, can I say something?
Yes, please.
Uh, can't no, I'm talking to Prime Minister.
All right.
Okay, so can't we make more stations? Can't we allocate more stations for like so that they could because we know that the poor we know that we can't educate everyone the SOPs. So don't you think that we have to make new stations for them, more stations so that they could easily purchase the grocery items and all that?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a good idea. We can do this, but we need a lot of interest
Mm-hmm.
and money also.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of budget should be involved in this. Okay, my third question is this, that we know that these days students are facing a lot of problems. Some students have their CIEs in May. So don't you think that we should delay the examination for that?
As you know that in last year we had passed children without exams. In this year we will not do like that. We will take exams so the future would be more brighter.
Okay,
But
that's good.
we can't maintain the social distance. We can't. I'm sure that we can't implement the SOPs.
In this situation, we will do like this. We will give more holidays, or we will take online papers.
So, do you think that online paper will give justice to every student?
Yeah, I don't think, but we have to do it.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving me time.
Welcome.
Minal, one more thing. Try not to give one sentence answer. Your answer should be at least in minimum three sentences. Is it clear? Consider three. I mean, or you can consider minimum two, maximum five. Two to five. Two to five. Stand somewhere. I mean, one sentence answer, one word answer is just not allowed. Over to you, Hamza.
Hello, good morning, Prime Minister. How are you?
I am fine. What about you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. So, my question is that from past years, we are facing a lot of electricity issues, and all the previous government said the same thing that the issue will gonna resolve this year, this year. So, will we face the same issue this year?
No, I don't think so because I'm trying my best to finish these issues, and
Okay.
inshallah I will defeat this issue.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Good to hear, Prime Minister. So, also the thing that we are seeing a lot of injustice around us, like the justice served to the only rich people, not to the poor people. So, I have a concern that when this issue will be resolved, like justice will be served properly to the poor people and to the rich people equally.
Please can you repeat the question?
So my question is that we're seeing the issues around us that justice are not served properly to the poor people and to the rich people. Justice can only be served to the poor people. Like the rich people can buy the justice with the money. So my question is, when we will see around us that the justice is served properly to the poor people and to the rich people, both have the same rules, both have the equal justice, both will have the equal justice.
Okay, now what I can do is that the judges have to go that take money from that didn't give justice to poor people and only do work with money.
Okay.
Minal, try to go for a bit more self-explanatory answers, bit more explanation, conclude more explanation, include more explanation. That would help
Okay,
everybody to understand your rule. Hmm.
I will give the job of judges to the good judges that will do justice,
Mhm.
and I will give jobs to honest judges.
Honest. The word is honest. H is silent. It's not honest, it's honest.
Honest.
All
Okay,
right.
my last question, Prime Minister, is that many graduated every year couldn't find the job, and all the government said the same thing to them that you're gonna find the job this year. So how we supposed to know that you're gonna provide the jobs to all graduated students this year?
I think so. It is difficult to give job in this year. If the pandemic will be defeated, I will definitely give jobs to the people that needed with. And as you know, the that Pakistan. And there is lots of people take education, a lot of education. They're very intelligent, but none of them are is has job. So I have to work very hard for it.
All right. Thank you, Prime Minister. That's all from my side.
Okay, Miss Prime Minister, in the beginning, when Aruj was asking you question and you were answering that, you made one mistake and you said poor people's, if you remember, you said poor people's. My question is from Hamza, from Minahil, and from Aruj, the word people, does it exist or not? People's, does it exist or not?
Pe- No,
No, no,
people
not
itself is a
people.
plural.
How about you, Minahil? You're on mute, Minahil. We can't hear you. Minahil, we can't hear you. You are on mute.
I
Yeah.
think people is rule.
Okay, so the word peoples exist or
I
not?
think people is plural.
And how about peoples? Does it exist or not?
No, no,
Yeah.
I made a mistake. I
Yeah,
agree
you
with
made a
this.
mistake, but no, 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 no. Let me tell you something. There comes a lecture. The word peoples also exist. I don't know why they are teaching us the word people is plural and word peoples it doesn't exist. Let me tell you the explanation. It might be new for you. Now tell me, but before I explain the word peoples, tell me rice and rices. The word is rice, and what is the plural of rice? Is it rice or rices?
Rice.
The plural of word rice is also rice. All right.
Yeah.
No, it's not like that. Let me tell you something. There is one class. That class contains 50 students. So 50 students are there in one class, and collectively we call it class. You agree with it, Aruj?
Yes.
How about you, Minahil? Is it clear?
Yes,
How about you,
it
Hamza?
is clear.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so what I was saying, there are 50 students sitting together. They are plural, but we give them one word. It's a class. 50 students, one class. And let's suppose if there are two classes, so the plural of class is classes. Getting a point? So the word
Yeah.
class is itself a plural word because it contains 50 students.
Yes.
Is it clear, Minahal?
Yes, it is clear.
All right. Same as works for rice and rices. If we are talking about one category, just like eighth class, there are 50 students from eighth class, 50 students from ninth class. So these are two classes. Same as for rice, there are 1 million grains of rice and it belongs to one category. It's rice. And if we are talking about two different categories, in that case, we call it rices. Two different categories. Now the word comes like people and peoples. The word people means we are talking about people from one nation. For instance, there are people from Pakistan, so they are people. They can't be considered as peoples. That would be wrong. Just like class and class collectively becomes classes, same as people from China, people from America, people from India, people from Pakistan collectively becomes peoples. Now, the next
Yeah.
thing is whatever you learn new, your task is just simply go to Google and find it out. Find it out the word rice versus rices, people versus peoples. Is it clear? And tomorrow, do explain me does this word exist or not?
Okay.
All right, let's move on. And this time, Aruj is the Prime Minister, and Minahil, you are the first reporter. Yes, Minahil, we are waiting for you.
Okay, my first question is that there are no schools for poor people. So what will you do?
Yes, dear Minahil, actually, this is my first concern that we should educate the poor people. So for that purpose, what I was thinking is that we should call all NGOs of Pakistan on one platform, and we should discuss that how could they help us to educate the poor people. So yes, if you have any good option in it, do let me know so that I could write it and we'll work on it. But what I am thinking is to call all the NGOs as soon as possible, and let's have a plan from them that how they will help us in providing the opportunities for poor people to teach.
Okay,
Hold on, hold
good,
on, hold
great
on,
idea.
Minahil. Minahil, hold on. Aruj, when you are speaking, I expect from you that you should use bit advanced vocabulary words. And for that, me and Hamza, we two are also working on one activity that I suggested Hamza that every single word that you use, a basic word, try to observe what words you're using on daily basis. Focus on those words, write it down that I use these vocabulary words most of the time in my speaking. Then we will work on those words. How can we take those words to advanced level? For instance, just as you were saying, what I'm thinking, what I'm thinking is, and you have said it twice. I mean, in the last speaking, you were also saying it. What I'm thinking is, what I'm thinking, it's a very common thing that you usually use. I mean, Hamza doesn't use that, Minahil doesn't use that, but it's your sentence with which you feel more comfortable by saying it. Now, what you have to do, you have to take it to advanced level. It could be how I perceive it. In my perception, it's changed. Getting it? It's just like we call it to come out of the comfort zone and to move from basic to intermediate to advanced. It would be by changing the word that we use. It's not about learning and memorizing new words. The basic and the step one or the zero level step is to replace the word that we are using. For instance itself. For example is a common word and you have to say it number of time instead of saying for example, for instance, to illustrate it, to demonstrate it, replace it, the words that you use. Thinking. Let me think. I
All
am
right.
thinking on. Thinking is a basic word that we use, and I was suggesting Hamza to use the word brainstorm on it. I am brainstorming on it nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
To replace the basic word, all the word, first step is to observe which word do you use commonly, usually, and then replace it. Or it could
Okay.
be the word is if I say something and you are saying okay, okay, so okay is again a common word. Now figure it out what could be the other possibilities of saying okay, because this is also creating an impression
Okay.
on the speaker. All right, certainly, indeed, for sure. What could be the possible words that you have to speak? So, the first thing that we have to do is not to memorize new words, not to adopt new words, not to read out more and get more vocabulary words. No. First, we have to repair the words that we use usually. For instance, the word is use, advanced word could be utilize. Figure out those words and make your own dictionary for the words that you use. Minahil uses different words in her conversation. Hamza uses different words. I use different words. So whatsoever are your vocabulary word that you are comfortable with, you have developed your thinking capability based on those words. Replace those words only. That's the stage one. Moving on to the next
All
question.
right.
Yes, Minahil, your second question from Prime Minister, please.
Second question is there's lack of floor in Pakistan. So what you will do?
Minahil, you are not allowed to read anything. It's a speaking class and it's not a reading class. So everything, every question that you have to ask, that should be from your own thinking, from your own, it should be creative thinking skills. It would be creative thinking skills. Getting it? So create a question. The purpose is not to read it out. The purpose is to create a question by utilizing critical thinking skills, that we are actually in a conversation and we are creating questions. I mean, I do
All
have
right.
this pen with me. I am doing cheating. That is only because when you guys are speaking, I'm writing down your mistakes. Otherwise, I am also not reading anything. We all are not reading here. We will conduct separate reading classes in which we'll be doing reading. But today it's a speaking class, and we are not allowed to write down the question and to memorize something and then to read it out. Yes, ask the same question again, but use your own words that you use and how
Okay.
you make a sentence structure, apply that into your question.
Okay. As there's not enough floor in our country, so what you will do?
There is what not? I'm so
Floor.
pardon me, I can't understand. Question, please repeat the
Not
question.
not enough floor.
Floor.
Floor?
Not
Oh, you're
enough
talking about the lack of
floor.
flour. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Hello?
Mhm. I can hear you, Aruj. Now you are on mute.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. These days we are facing this issue. For that, what I think is no, I should not use think word. For that what we can do is that we should first find out the problem, that why the shortages are occurring, and secondly we should control the corruption on it, and we can work on import, we can find out the solution, or we can have the strategies to import the flour from different countries.
Hmm. All right. Next question, Manal.
Okay, that's a great idea. Okay, my next question is as the
Your
prices are
voice is
very
not
high
clear
of
to me.
items, the no, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, please speak up.
Okay, as you know that all the items are having a very high prices. The poor people are not able to buy the items. So what you will do to lower down the prices?
Great.
All right, Minahil, for this, what we can do is that first of all, we have to like introduce the packages, the package which is suitable for poor people. Secondly, we have to control this mafia who is, in bringing the inflation in the market. So I what I alone cannot do work on it. I have make a party for that. So they will find the solution and they will bring the proper plan for implementation. So soon we are going to control the inflation, which is occurring by the few group of people.
The word is not party. You don't need to make a party. You need to make a committee.
Yeah, actually I was thinking what I have to use, but this word was not coming in my mind.
Not a problem. Yes, Minal, your next question.
You, I've done with three questions.
All right. Yes, Hamza.
No problem, Inahe. You can ask me anytime.
Okay, Prime Minister, I have a question about the corruption. You can see around us that everybody is involving in the corruption. So how we can completely beat the corruption?
Everybody
Like you
is
will see,
involving is wrong. Everybody is involved
is involved
in corruption. Yeah, is involved.
in
That's a
corruption.
passive voice. Hmm.
Okay, so you'll see around us that from the higher management to the lower management, everybody is doing the corruption, involved in the corruption. So how we can beat the corruption?
Yeah, indeed, Hamza, you're right that corruption is like the tumor in the private sector as well as in the public sector. So I have started initially. I have started a plan where you find people who are giving bribe or who are giving bribery, or they can just call on that platform and they can inform or they can just note down their complaint so that we could work on it. It's not a one
All right.
person solution. Everybody has to work on it. So mutually we can resolve the problem.
All right, great. Yes, next question, please.
Okay, my next question is that the budget towards the women's sports are much lower than the budget you guys have approved for the men's sport. And why is that? Because I think that both of the teams, men's and women's, must have the same budget so they can perform better. But the budget towards the men are much higher than the women sport in
You're right
sports.
that in sports, you're right.
Yeah.
There should be no discrimination in budget. If we are allocating a amount to men, we should face the same budget to the. We should allocate the same budget to the female. So whereas you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, as in I have no idea about it. This question is new for me.
Okay.
Something
That's all
went
right.
wrong with
Yeah.
my internet, I believe. So what did you say at the end, Rose? I couldn't get that.
I said that I don't have any idea about it. This question is really new for me that it is happening that women are getting less budget. So that's why I'm stuck that I don't know how to give a solution on it.
All right. Minahil, Underwood, and Hamza, we have discussed that already I have discussed that already with Hamza, that it can happen, specifically night speaking. And Minahil, if we are talking about social conversation, general communication skill, it is possible. People will ask us few of the questions that we were not aware of, we were not prepared about. It is possible. It can happen. What we have to do is just to prove it by speaking that I'm not very well aware of this topic. I do not have a strong grip on this topic, but how I perceive it, and then give your own judgment about the topic. So never say, I don't know. That would take your confidence level down. That would take your impression down. You can say it, I never thought about that before. It's a very tricky question. I never thought about that before, but just because you have asked me this question, so how I perceive it or how I can guess this situation is, and then give your answer and create a story. Specifically in the speaking session,
Create a
we
story.
never talk about realities. It has nothing to do with the truth. And also in the IELTS classes, it has nothing to do with the truth, with the reality. It's all about making up the story. It's all about speaking more. It's not about the content. And just as I was talking to Hamza earlier, it's not the test of your intellectuality, it's not the test of your general knowledge, it's the test of your English. So we have to speak more in English by creating the content if we don't have one. Okay, moving on to the next question, Hamza. And that would be the last question, I
Okay.
believe so.
Yeah, it's the last question.
Hmm.
So my last question is that in Balochistan, we are seeing that many of the peoples are missing every day, and all the previous governments said the thing said that thing that we are working on that, and nobody will be disappear in future. So when you was campaigning when you was doing your election campaign, you said the same thing that we are working on it, and nobody will be disappear from the Balochistan. So what you will say, because I've seen previously many of the people are disappearing from that side of our country.
Hamza, I'm
Indeed,
sure
Hamza,
you're
I'm
not
still
reading the
on my
question.
words that nobody is going to miss from Baluchistan, and for that I have made one plan for that to implement, and I have appointed few people to give security, especially to Baluchistan people. So that is in my priority, and I'll definitely stand on my words that nobody is going to miss. I have talked to Army Chief as well. So we are working on it, and inshallah, we'll cope up with it.
Great.
All right, thank you.
Yes, now Hamza is the Prime Minister. Manahil, your first question from Prime Minister, please.
Okay, my first question is, as you also know that all the kids, there's a gang that kidnapped all the kids. So till till, till today, I didn't heard any news that you had give you had you had give you had give
Mhm.
you had give punishment to anyone. So what you would do for
Do
this?
not answer that, Hamza.
Okay.
Uh, Manahil, you made two mistakes. Number one, you have give punishment. With has or have, we always use third form. It would be you have given punishment. It should be you have given punishment. Is it clear, Manahil?
Yes.
And number two, you said I did not heard any news. Did not heard. You can't use two second forms in one sentence. I did not hear. I did not listen to any news. Is it clear? So
Yeah.
remember the tenses. I mean, we will be having specific grammar class as well, in which we'll be practicing grammar the way it should be for the speaking perspective. But till then, remember, focus on the tenses. And we cannot make these mistakes, which are quite at the basic level. And we'll be working on that as well. Yes, Hamza, continue with your answer, please.
Okay, so start with the missing child. We had made a committee to protect the childs, and that's a separate department of child protection. They will make sure that such kind of cases will not gonna happen in future. And you're talking about that you haven't see anything about the punishment. So for that, I have talked with all the police departments in that area, and we have fired some of the superiors as well, because they are not doing their work properly. So hopefully in future we're gonna resolve this issue, and you will not see such kind of issues happening in the future.
Hmm. All right. Next question, Minaya.
Question two is that there's kids street beggars. They didn't get. They're homeless. They didn't get any. They didn't get education. Their parents let them go out, and they say them to bring money. So what you will do for this?
Well, that's a very good question, I must say. So you will see previously, as my government has build the homes for the old people. and now we are working on this side of section that we have to make the homes for the child who are working on the streets, who are working on the signals, and we also have to take steps towards their parents, because we have to give them punishment, so they cannot allow the child to go out and to beg the money from the people. So we are working on that, and we will resolve that issue very soon.
Inshallah. All right, that is it for from Manahil. Yes, Aruj, your first question from Prime Minister, please.
Good afternoon, Prime Minister. Hope you are well. Oh,
Yes,
okay,
thank you.
sir, my first question is that how could we control the inflation these days?
Inflation. Okay, that's kind of good question. Well, I think inflation in which term, like
Sir,
Mhm.
overall or
inflation, overall inflation, yes.
okay. It inflation causes due to many of things like unemployment and uh, high prices in the markets or in the utilities. So we have to control the inflation by giving our new graduated people the employment, and by controlling the prices, because it's not all up to me. Many of the people below who are working below me, so they are the one who, there's a mafia underdown, and we are working against them to decrease that. So we have a control upon the prices, and we can initiate a step and control on the inflation. So we are working on that.
Okay, great.
So hoping to see good results. Sir, second question is what I'm perceiving these days that transgenders are being brutally killed. So what should we do for them? What can we do?
Okay, yes, you are right. I have seen such kind of news on the TV, on the Twitter as well. So I asked one of my uh, CM from the Punjab, because that kind of cases are mostly happening in the Punjab and on the Peshawar side. So I asked two of the CMs from that cities to come up here, and we do the meeting, because they have the equal rights among all the people living in that side of country. So they have the equal rights. So we have discussed in the meeting that police must have to arrest all the people who are included in killing that transgenders, so we can give them the justice. So that's what we are doing in that issue.
Hmm.
All right.
All right, that's it. That's
All
it.
right.
That's it.
Okay.
Now you guys have got some assignment. I have requested Sahar and Irfan to share the homework with you, but let me explain it to you. Hamza, you have already got. You can't see that. It's not visible, isn't it?
Yeah, I can see that.
You can see that. Can you? It's just
No,
light,
no,
I
I
believe.
can't see that. It's
Okay,
very
you
bright.
can't see that. Okay, I have requested Irfan to share the homework with you. Minahal, have you got that on the cell phone? On WhatsApp, might be. He must have shared that over there. What about you, Aruj? Sahar has shared some homework or not?
No.
No, sir.
Not yet.
No,
All
sir.
right. But
Not
let me
yet.
tell you, I have requested them to share that with you guys. Hamza, you already have those 22 speaking topics.
Yes, I have.
Aruj, Seher is going to share those 22 speaking topics with you. Minahil, Irfan is just sharing 22 speaking topics with you. There are 22 pictures, and every picture contains one topic. On each of the topic, you are requested to send me a 2-minute WhatsApp voice note the way you did in the beginning. Read out the question, keep the question in front of you, and send me a 2-minute voice note on that topic. Is it clear?
Any
So,
one of them?
no, all of those. It means it's going to be a 44-minute of the homework. One topic, 2 minutes. 21 topics are there,
Okay.
21 to 22 topics are there, so it means it's a 44-minute activity. So why I have shared with you, Hamza, because you have only sent me, I believe, 8 or 9 recordings. I'm waiting for all of those.
Yeah.
Okay, so do complete that homework, Hamza. That's your
So
task.
do we have to send in a day?
Sorry?
Do we have to send by tomorrow?
No, no, no,
Yes.
not by tomorrow, but of
Do I
course,
have to
before.
send all 21 topics by tomorrow?
It's not a big deal, by the way. It's just a 44-minute activity, but not tomorrow, before the next speaking class. Is it clear? All right. Any further question?
No, thanks.
That is it for today. Take care. Bye bye. But before that, do remember your homework. You have to complete that and you have to share that with me. Okay.
All right.
Oh,
Bye bye. Allah
thank you,
Hafiz.
sir.
Bye.
Allah
Allah
Hafiz.
Hafiz.